Welcome to Perfect-ish, where it's not about having perfect time management, but about perfecting your relationship with time. I'm your host, Callie Brigham, and every week we'll talk all things time and how to maximize it without burnout or guilt. Whether we're chatting with an expert or I'm sharing my 20 years of time management experience, you'll learn simple strategies to make every moment count. Here, it's all about getting close to perfect-ish. So let's synchronize our watches and dive in. Hi, friend. Ironically, the message for today on this podcast episode may be for someone who is not listening to this podcast. So I might need your help to send this message to a friend. Chances are, if you listen on a consistent basis, you might not feel like you're amazing at time management or planning. I mean, I'm raising my hand too. Still a work in progress, hence perfect-ish. But you may be a little bit intrigued and a little bit interested and a little bit pro planning in some ways. So that's why I say today's episode may not be for you. But then again, I think it probably could be. But I do want you to pass it on to your anti-planning friends. Yep, they're the ones who see a podcast that is about time management and they're thinking, nah, next, not for me. So we're going to dive into the world of anti-planners. And I feel like I have the perfect introduction to this because I have a client and she is a self-proclaimed anti-planner, which is pretty funny considering that she is a client. And she, of course, almost did not become a client because she really thought that maybe time management work and coaching was not for her because she just wasn't her thing. So if you've been listening so far and you just kind of like it for entertainment or it's just kind of fun or you like it for the guest episodes and you're thinking, well, finally, this episode is for me. You're speaking my language, my love language. Then guess what? It's been a long time coming. We're going to talk about the anti-planner. Now, I feel like maybe I should name this client. I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus. So what would be a good name for her? We'll just call her Anna. We're going to call her Anna for the sake of today's message. And when Anna first reached out to me, she said, I don't even really know why I'm reaching out to you because I feel like maybe I'm not your avatar, if you know that term. She said, because I really like the idea of planners, meal prepping, color coding my calendar, planning my week. It sort of gives me hives. And she said, now don't get me wrong, graveyard of gorgeous planners. I have leather bound ones and the cute ones with inspirational quotes and the ones that promise to change my life. So she said, I do have those, and now they make really good gifts as long as they're not an actual calendar with dates in it. She said it's one of those things I can definitely give a planner to anybody as a gift because they've just sat there. But she said, I think I need some help. And she asked me if I would be willing to go the distance with somebody who is not maybe what she would think of, or I would think of as the traditional client. And she said, I just want to warn you that I have told myself, this is what Anna said, that at times that I'm lazy or I'm unfocused or I just need to try harder. And I told her that was garbage and let's give it a shot. And it's not a character flaw. It's just maybe some different ways that she's wired. So we've been working together and here are some things that we found. I'm actually going to give you the 3 things that have been most effective for Anna, the anti-planner. Oh, look at that. Okay, that's alliterative and I love it. And it just came off the top of my head. So I think let's go for it. Before we dive into the 3 solutions that Anna and I worked on, I think it's always beneficial to talk about why some of the traditional planning methods don't seem to work for people. Here are just a few. The first one I think, and that I've found and that I've heard, and Anna would probably say she falls into, if not all of these, most of these. The first one is pressure. So there's a feeling of pressure. Traditional planning can feel like you're having to sign a contract with future you. Dun, dun, dun. But what if future you doesn't want to do those things? What if future you is tired or The weather's perfect and you want to do something else, or there's a new Netflix series that just dropped, or your favorite artist, her album just dropped. The structure and the pressure of the structure feels suffocating and it does not feel fun. And there you go, anti-planner. Number 2 thing that I found is that perfectionism trap. And we talk about this fairly frequently on here. Many planners and planning systems are beautifully designed for people who do like a neat and a tidy process. But some people are just beautifully chaotic. And we really love those people, don't we? Those are the fun people. So they might see a planning system and think, well, it either needs to be done perfectly or not at all. And I like not at all. The third anti-planner is probably someone, it's more of an executive function in reality. And this is probably something that's not talked about quite as much. We did have a therapist on here who was talking about ADHD and ADD. We've had that actually 2 of them so far. And sometimes brains just work differently and they have different executive functioning processes. That's the mental skill that helps you with organization and planning and following through. So if your brain works differently, traditional planning just genuinely might be harder for you. And that's okay. And then the last thing, I think this falls probably really in line with the perfectionism, but we're going to call all or nothing. And a lot of times planning assumes that you want to optimize your whole life, right? You want everything running smoothly. But maybe it's just as simple as you just need to remember to pay your phone bill or electric bill. Although those are on automatic most of the time, aren't they? Well, you get the idea. Or maybe you just need to show up for your dentist appointment. You don't need a life coach. You just need something simple. So here's the good news with Anna, with all my anti-planning people out there, is you can absolutely still be productive in the truest form of the word, but you don't have to embrace what might feel like a cult of productivity planning. We just need to work with our brain instead of against it. You know how I say we flow with it instead of fighting with it. All right, so Anna and I got to work, and aren't you glad that our months of work are going to streamline into 3 silly, simple, stupid, simple, smart, simple strategies for you. All right. So the 3 things, number 1, it's the capture everything brain drain. All right. So you probably know about the brain drain now. You can always go in the show notes. You can go to my website. The brain drain's everywhere. But we're going to simplify the brain drain as just the capture part. So it's not going to be everything with a to-do list or even prioritizing, because that is what I teach, that you do it, then you assign it to a day and time. We're not doing any of that. We're just capturing the brain drain. That's it. So we're going to pick one place, and it could be those brain drain sheets, or honestly, it could just be your phone's note app. It could be a small notebook. It could be a napkin collection. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Anna picked what hers was, and we just said there's just one place though. We can't have multiple places. That's where it goes wrong. So one place captures everything. When anything pops into your head, anything, like I need to call my mom or buy cat food or research that thing, you write it down immediately. So you do not need to have access to this pretty much most of the time. Now, what I don't want you to do is you don't have to organize it. You don't have to prioritize it. You don't have to make it pretty. You're just capturing it. You're just putting it in that one place, and that's it. And you're done. Okay, that's it. Anna liked this. And here's why it works. Our brain is not good at remembering everything, but it's amazing of reminding you of things at inconvenient times. Ever notice how you might wake up at 2 in the morning and think, I need to pay a bill? That's your brain trying to help, but it has terrible timing. Okay, just so you know, since we speak truth here and I love to tell on myself, this happened to me the other night, but it was that the night before I wanted to ask ChatGPT, oh, you guys, I wanted to ask ChatGPT, why am I always cold when I go to bed? I mean, I put fuzzy socks on when I go to bed. I know. And then at some point in the middle of the night, I get hot, not like menopause hot, not like hot flashes. I just get hot. So I was meaning to ask my brain this, and then I forgot. And then when do you think I remembered? when I was up in the middle of the night and then I start thinking about it, but then I know I shouldn't get my phone out because of the blue light. And then, okay, so I wrote that down, asked ChatGPT. So I did. In case, does anybody want to know? Okay, I'm pulling out my phone to do this, which is always turned off during podcast recording. But this is a natural, it says your body is basically running its own little thermostat program while you sleep. When you're getting ready for sleep, your core body temperature naturally starts to drop. Part of your circadian rhythm, telling your brain it's night night time. This is my chatty Cathy. Blood vessels in your hands, feet, and skin constrict first, which can make you feel cold even if your core is still warm. That's why socks, blankets, burrito mode feels so good at the start. Once you're asleep, however, your blood vessels relax, allowing more heat to escape to the skin. If you went to bed all bundled up, that trapped heat starts to accumulate. And add in the fact that your bedding insulates you and your body doesn't have a quick way to dump the extra warmth. So you wake up feeling too hot. That interesting? Just yeah, this is bonus. This is extra. You're not paying for this part. Anyways, just to finish it up, your body's temperature control is a little less precise during deeper stages of sleep, especially your REM, your REM sleep. You can swing between feeling cooler or warmer as your body cycles, even without hormonal surges being involved. Okay, so in short, that was the reason. Now, did I need to know that at 2, 3, 4 in the morning? I did not. But had I put that down on my list, which I did later the next day, it reminded me to do it. So let's finish up this part. When you capture everything in one place, you're essentially telling your brain, thanks for the reminder. I've got it handled. Your brain can relax and stop randomly shouting reminders at you during dinner or other times. So, the pro tip on this one, do not review this list as a schedule. Just check it when you're bored or waiting somewhere, and you'll naturally gravitate towards the things that actually matter. All right. So, thank you, Anna, for the experimentation. Number one thing that really worked for her was the capture everything brain drain. All right. Number two thing that really happened well for her was the one thing today method. It's so simple. But if you know me by now, too, you know that we start small, not to start strong. So we would say to Anna every morning, ask yourself one question. What's the one thing? If I did it today, it would make me feel ... It would make me feel successful. It would make me feel accomplished. It would make me feel happy. It would make me feel at peace. Okay, not three things, not five things, just one thing. The rules that we had for Anna, though, was they had to be specific and doable in one day. It could be tiny, even just send the email. That counts. It could be fun. Take a bath, take a walk, anything that counts too. Once you pick it, that's your only job for the day. Why this works is that most of us fail at productivity because we try to do everything at once. Our brains love completing things. That's nice. But when we try to pick too many things, that's when we have the issue. When we pick one thing and we do it, we get that sweet dopamine hit of accomplishment. But here's the secret. Once you do your one thing, guess what you're often motivated to do? More. But if you don't, that's fine too. You already won the day. So you can pick something from your capture everything brain drain, or you can just go with whatever you're feeling that day. And some days for Anna, it was survive this day with grace because she has a lot going on, and that's valid too. Number 3 strategy, stupid simple, smart simple, sweet simple, whatever, is the good enough time blocking. So I know I said no planning. I'm not retracting that. But with Anna, we did not want to go the traditional time blocking. This is blocking for people that hate time blocking. Okay. So what we did with her is we looked at her day and we identified her natural energy patterns. Is she a morning person, a night owl? Afternoons are best. And during the highest energy time, we aim to protect that fiercely. This is when she was going to do and decided to do and planned to do anything that required brain power. That's her high energy. During her medium energy, she could do all the routine stuff, whether it was errands or emails or laundry. And during the lowest energy time, mindless stuff, or give herself permission to do nothing and to rest. So she didn't have to plan specific tasks for times. It was more, let's think about it like this: protecting her energy zones. That's what it was. So for example, morning being high energy, she could say, this is when I think. I don't have meetings. I don't have social media, just my important stuff. If afternoon was medium energy, then this is when I do stuff. I run errands, I make calls, I do busy work. If evening was low energy, she might say, this is my human time, my people time with my people, dinner, Netflix, conversations, bath, that type of thing. What we're doing is we're working with our natural rhythm instead of against it. So we're not trying to write important emails at 4:00 when the brain is done and has checked out. Again, thank you, Anna, for going on this journey, this little experimentation process with us to see what worked. And then we said, let's stop there and let's make sure over time that these 3 things are still serving you. And they are, even to this day. So what we want to do so that we don't fall back into planning overwhelm or we just reject anything whatsoever, and then we start to feel bad and we feel guilty and we compare. Start with one of the strategies. You don't have to start with all 3. We did not start with all 3. Just pick one. Pick one that makes you think, you know what, that sounds doable. And do that for a couple weeks before you even think about adding the other one. I mean, for us, we would meet twice a month. So it would be every 2 weeks. And then lower your standards. How do you like that? I'm like, Anna, lower your standards. It's not about optimization. It's about being functional. The goal is not to be the one necessarily, although I should have had Anna on here, but we're keeping her identity a secret. She doesn't have to be the guest on the podcast or host the podcast. It's just so she feels more in control of her life without wanting to hide from it. Expect imperfection. And we said that too. You're going to forget to do things. You're going to have days where everything falls apart. We all do. It's normal human behavior for that. It's, again, not a character flaw. We just start again the next day. And then adjust it as ruthlessly as you want to. If something's not working, let's change it. Maybe you hear this, but your capture everything system needs to be voice memos instead of writing. Maybe your one thing needs to be picked the night before. We played around with all of this for Anna and we experimented until it really felt easy. And at the end of the day, just remember your why, WHY. You're not trying to be somebody else. We don't need somebody else. We need you just as you are. We're just trying to make your actual life work better for your actual brain. This is a completely different goal than what most productivity systems are selling you. So, all right, my beautiful friend, my beautiful human friend, I know that the world is full of people trying to sell you systems for managing your life. I get it, right? It's there. And they are there. And some people absolutely need them and they thrive. But if it's just about trying hard enough or having to have exact steps or buying the right supplies to make yourself this beautifully organized person, just know you might not need to be a beautifully organized person. Maybe you just need to become a person who can get some stuff done without having some panic attacks. I hope these 3 strategies, capture everything, pick one thing, protect your energy zones. I hope that these serve you, not to transform you into a type A person. They just help you working with your brain. Try one of these strategies this week, just one. See how it feels. Remember, progress is what we're going for. You've got this. We don't need the single fancy planner. And if you have those, think about who has a birthday coming up and give them the gift of that. And then give the gift of this episode to a friend like Anna, the anti-planner. All right, till next time, God bless. Thanks for tuning in to the Perfect-ish Time Management Podcast. Let's keep the fun going. Follow me on social and join our Facebook community. And if you're ready for some one-on-one time management coaching to reach the top of your game without burnout or guilt, I'd love to chat. Book a free interest call using the link in the show notes or send me a DM. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a 5-star review and share it with a friend who's ready to master their time too. Remember, we're in this together, making real progress towards becoming perfect-ish.